Yeah. 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 So many lies that you hear from the net, they don't get her respect. She reporting the truth, not a check. You want an unbiased opinion straight from the chest, not a bit accomplice or someone here for a check. Tune in, these are thoughts from a lawyer on a mission who goes so hard it's like she works on commission. Trolls in the comments might say she tripping cause they lack the knowledge, they don't know they missing. Got a couple current events that you like, wanna know about law from the eyes. Tired of all these blogs running lies because they agendas are disguised. Tune in to the intellect, cause I'm sure y'all missing all the facts of the case that she steady is gifting. Someone here for the people, man, it's so uplifting. If you ain't subscribed yet, then you just omitting facts.
Hey y'all. Hello everyone. This is Pam Esquire, also known as Your Law Intellect, and I have come all the way from Michigan to tell you I ain't got nothing to tell you for real. Pretty much. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I just came on so y'all know, I'm not locked up or nothing. I'm still in the land of the free and home of the brave. So come on in, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for the super chat. She said for your time. Yeah, because it definitely was a waste of it. Try, I done seen all type of things about me. I was like, what? But anyway, okay. But it's cool. I talk about y'all. Y'all can talk about me too. It is what it is. Well, I don't know nothing about that. I just know. So for those of you that's just coming in or I'm sure you guys heard because apparently there was like people that wasn't even in courtroom was reporting stuff, which is interesting to me. However, so if you guys are not aware, what happens is I typically get a videographer to record. So every time I get a date from that Ernest is having a hearing, that Nesto is having a hearing, I typically will contact, phone is blowing up, sorry. I will contact their media place and I would put in my Rule 22. So I had a conversation. Well, oftentimes you guys know I fly here. So I could put in something a month beforehand and sometimes I won't know till 2 days before. Well, obviously I'm trying to get a flight to get here. So I'm like, it has to be a more efficient way to do this because me, even if I turn in a month before, the judge may not sign it until the night before or something like that. So what I did was I contacted the media place and I'm like, is there a way that I could just do a continuing Rule 22? I just did it like in December. So I've never recorded or anything without it having its own Rule 22. So prior to that, every time a date would come, I would submit a Rule 22. Every single time a date would come. So then I asked someone, I'm like, do you got a Rule 22? Because I kept seeing mine posted, but I didn't see anybody else's. So I'm like, what are these people doing that they don't got to post one all the time? So somebody was like, I have a continuing Rule 22. So I'm like, okay, cool. So let me contact the media place, the media location, and email them and say, hey, instead of me having to put in all these Rule 22s every time, and it taking as long as it takes, can I do a continuing Rule 22? So their response was just like, hey, you're welcome to submit or continue running Rule 22. I haven't seen it for hearings, but I have seen it for longer trials and da-da-da-da-da. But I also talked to the judge as well. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I submit my Rule 22. It has continuing throughout the case. Submitted to the judge, and the judge signed it. So I'm like, okay. So this time was the first date that I hadn't actually submitted a separate Rule 22 because the last time I did it in December, I asked for it to be continuing and it was signed by the judge. There were other things I put on there like different ways to record that the judge crossed out. So it was really no reason for me to believe like, oh, he's not okay with this Rule 22. So we get to the courtroom today. It's myself and Wisdom's daughter was there. So we get to the courtroom, and then right they're doing the final pleas. So final pleas, a lot of times it sounds like the prosecutor contacts the other side the night before, and then they may offer something. All right. So they may offer something. What I told you guys is I would be surprised if there was a final plea, which I should have just took my own advice and stayed home and avoided all this drama. But I was like, because these motions are pending and the judge has not given any type of a ruling, I'm like, why would he plea right now? Because what if this stuff gets dismissed? He's in a better position the more that he gets dismissed. So anyway, I'm like, okay, everybody was coming to me telling me all this extra conversation happening on the side as if he going home or something. I'm like, how is he going home? He got 2 other cases. Well, whatever, I'm going to book a flight and I'm going to go out and see. So because I had my Rule 22 in December that said continuing, I was going to utilize that, ask my cameraman, hey, you available? He was like, yeah. So he came in. Now, while he's walking into the building, I don't know if you're allowed to have cameras unless you have a Rule 22, but he said they called up or whatever. The same thing with the DEP. He usually checks your Rule 22 and it said continuing. So he was like, whatever. So they break for this whole plea situation for everybody to talk. It's like a big negotiation room. All right. And people going into some people are going in chambers. If you're in my membership, you know, Nesto's attorney or Mr. Williams' attorney and Wooten, they went in the back, the states, and they were discussing. So everybody's discussing or whatever, and the judge comes back out and he calls out Wisdom and was like, he says, I see cameras. He didn't call her out first. He said, I see cameras. So he's talking to my camera guy. So my camera guy was like, yeah, I have a Rule 22. He was like, I need to see it. So he pulls it up because I sent it to him, and he's showing, it's the continuing Rule 22. So then he says that about Wisdom pulls her. I guess she had one since October or something. So I have never used it like at all. This was going to be the first time I used it as a continuing instead of having a separate one. So he calls out her and says, you can't have continuing. You got to do it for each case. And, she gave her argument as to why or whatnot. And then when she asked about my video guy, I got up like, hey, judge, this is me. I'm on there as well. He's recording on my behalf. I explained, just like I explained to you all, I contacted, media, asked them, would it be okay? They basically said it was up to the judge, in a nutshell. The judge can say no, or the judge can say, yeah, but you can submit it. So because you signed it, I'm thinking it's okay. No, that's not what, you can't do that. That's against the rules. When he first was talking to Wisdom, he said, I don't understand. He was like, I got to see what remedy I'm going to do. I don't know if it should be a contempt hearing because you didn't follow the rules. So he said that to her first. Then he goes to me, and when I'm speaking to him, he's just like, no, that's not how that works. I'm going to have to get with them and figure out what the remedy is. It's like, okay. So I think she asked because she still record, and he was like, no. And then I ain't say nothing. I just said what I had to say, which was the facts of what I had. You know what I'm saying? Which I have the emails, obviously. And I went back and sat down. So the guy was like, are you going to leave? I told my video guy, he charged about an hour. You can go ahead and go on. So are you going to leave? I'm like, no. Like, I'm going to come here. I'm going to see what's going on or whatnot. Like, I'm here. I done flew all the way from Michigan. So I was like, at least see what happens. And then apparently, basically, when they were in the back, then the judge, after all of that, went off of, he wrote all our information down for whatever I guess he gonna do. And then he goes to the back or whatnot. And then that was really like it when it came to the whole Ernest Williams thing. And then Wooten left out of the courtroom and he did something there. He was gone. And then Hoover left out. And then he came back like, judge, is there any more after sitting there till like almost noon? Judge, is there anything else, I guess, that you with our case? And I guess the judge must have said no or whatnot. So nothing happened basically on his case. But that's the whole Rule 22 gates on what happened. I I don't know. Well, nothing happened. Like there was literally nothing to record. That's the bottom line too. There was nothing to record. I have never, even if his rules were that individually you had to have a Rule 22, this would have been my first time recording with having a continuing Rule 22. So my guy didn't even turn on his video camera. So nothing was recorded at all. Nothing. Because he knows the rule. You can't record anybody that's not in your case. You're not supposed to just randomly be recording in the courtroom. Like there are certain rules that they do have or whatnot. As we know from people that, took pictures or were caught recording in the courtroom, there are things. So my guy, I always tell him, don't even turn it on until, or you know what I'm saying, until he comes out. So it was nothing that happened. Like there was all this happened before anything could have happened. So there was nothing that really happened. There was no recordings. There was nothing like that. So I see all the super chats. Thanks for the love. I just wanted to explain because apparently folk put me in jail and everything. And I'm sure, people excited about it and saying what they say. But it just, the judge is going to be. And he did mention, though, before they asked for a gag order. So maybe this would be a way for them to try to reopen that or something. I don't know. So lesson is, I guess, in the courtroom, regardless of whether you put continuing, and the judge signs it don't really matter. It don't matter. Thank you, Janetta, for the cash up. I'm gonna look at all of your comments and your super chats in a minute. But yeah, it was interesting. Let me see if y'all if you could see it. See, he scratched something off that I put on there. Then I have the December, that was the last one, and continuing through the case. And then I have at whatever the time is, and I said, and continuing through the case. So that's what it has. Thank you, Tanya, for the cash app. I appreciate that. So, listen, it's his courtroom, child. I've seen worse in a professional capacity. I wasn't in a professional capacity, but yeah, that's that. This is Judge Dunaway. But he did. He like snapped for a minute, like, no, that's not how this works. I'm like, because as you guys see, you said Cookie Wood said he even cut you guys off while you were speaking. I'm so used to it that it don't even faze me. I'm so used to judges being like that in my professional capacity that it don't even faze me. But so that's that. Everybody in my membership knew what was up because I was just, let them know what was going on. But and judges they can have bad days too. And it could have just been a miscommunication. So I didn't even take it like I said, I think eventually I had to look around here, make sure ain't no little creatures coming up here. But yeah, so so basically, like I said, when they came in, the judge was like, we need to talk about what we're gonna do moving forward. So they had a whole conversation in the back, and whatever it was, like I said, it really doesn't make it really didn't make logical sense to me for there to be a plea, because again, if they are able to get some of that whatever, the vehicle search suppressed, then you know what I'm saying? If you're able to get the vehicle search suppressed, then I wouldn't advise my client to like give up and they could have got a better deal if that happens, you know. Or if it's suppressed to the point where you feel like the trial is gonna be all on your side, then I would go to trial. So because they filed the motions, I think that it behooves them to see what the end result is gonna be. So no, I'm not on the 13th juror said, "Long you're not on MLK." No, I'm out of that neck of the woods. You said so they moved the date up for no reason. I have no clue. Don't get me the line. I just know the judge was happy with me today. Okay, that's all I know. And like I said, it wasn't anything that I had done. Like he can literally look at all the times I've had a Rule 22, and I've always put it in every day. But then when I had someone say, "Hey, I have a continuing one," I was like, "Shoot, let me reach out to media." Obviously, because it's a lot to if you're trying to book something ahead of time, airplane wise, to get your response a little faster on whether you should even be flying down here or not. So there's that. Yeah, y'all better get them likes up. I'm sitting up here risking it all for y'all. Shoot. You know what? I don't know. I don't know if there's a new date. They just said, you get me, said justice for Pam. I thought he'd be free today. Child, don't get me. Let me acknowledge these super chats before I get your questions. I don't have much to say, child. So, except the judge was pissed and said, "You ain't recording today, even though it ain't nothing to record anyway." That's basically what he said. So I don't know if it's gonna be an issue in the future or whatever. And even honestly, it could have just been, it ain't my courtroom, but it could have just been like, no, I don't do continuing for hearings at all ever on no day. So every single time except in trial or something, I need you to put in a Rule 20. If I sign that, that's because I overlooked it or something. Like that would have been cool, you know. But because it's been times where like it's been people where the court didn't have their Rule 22, and they was like, okay, well, we'll allow you to record this time, but next time do this and that. It wasn't none of that. He was like, listen, I gotta figure out a remedy. Y'all gonna have to be punished somehow for this. It's like, okay, but it happens. Shout out to Judge Dunaway. He all right. Jay's run over Crocs. Thank you for the super chat. CI Hawk, thank you for the super chat. Queen BL, thank you for gifting 10 members. I appreciate it. Goldie, thank you for the super sticker. Rossi said, for all your troubles, well, we know it's no weapon formed against you won't prosper. They say it's going to form, but it ain't going to prosper. I received that. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Queen Brielle, thank you again for 10 more. Y'all feel sorry for me or something. Y'all got sorry, y'all got reprimanded. Huh? Cindy White, thank you for the super sticker. Granny the Great, this is so kind of you. Thank you so much. You say, I'm so glad you were boots on the ground today. I wasn't very beneficial, but yeah. Thank you, Miami Lady T, for the gifted membership. T Collins, thank you for the super sticker. Dark and Lovely said, thank you, Pam, for your hard work. Thank you. Queen Brielle, thank you so much for the generous support. Patty Patty said, thanks for all you do. Thank you, Patty Patty. Always the lady said, I've been waiting to hear from you. Thank you. Yeah, because I'm sure everyone had their own renditions. He was mad though. I ain't gonna sit up there and like act like he ain't like cut in. But honestly, because of other people's reaction, I was like, God, am I really this immune to judges just kind of talking in certain ways. And I think I am. After 15 years, you know. Thank you so much, Miami Lady T, April B. Thank you, Bougie, for gifting the memberships, hon. I appreciate that. Jeanette said I look pretty. Thank you. That's the least I could do. That's all I did was look pretty today. Nothing else happened. Thank you, Miss J, for the super sticker, for wasted time and shenanigans. Thank you, them folks. Thank you, Shawty. Thank you so much, Cross Country Cruiser. Now, people are saying people snitched about it. I don't know anything about that. Was Sylvia was obviously in the courtroom. She ain't had her camera, but she was in the courtroom, and I mean, if that's the judge policy, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying I tried to follow protocol in the right channels, and I got mine signed that said continuing. Now, if it wasn't supposed to be signed, then we have to revisit that. That's it. Thank you so much, HB5, for the super chat. Thank you, Caramel QT. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me see what else y'all saying. I ain't want y'all out here worried about me because I was going to take a nap. I had went got my little Chick-fil-A, my salad. I was like, I'm about to take a nap. And then Dad was like, they on live talking about you in trouble, girl. And I said, let me go ahead and talk to the intellect so they know what's going on. No, he's not. I don't know where that came from. We didn't even see him today. Like, he wasn't even brought out. So if he was in the back, we didn't even see him. So what's happening next? I surmise that the judge is going to come with some ruling. I don't know if there's going to have to be a continuing evidentiary hearing or not because of the situation that the state brought up that maybe Shirley need to come in and testify about the truck. We weren't privy to it. So I guess we have to watch the docket and see what happens. I mean, the judge said he might have a hearing on our Rule 22s too. So we don't know. We don't know what's about to happen. But all I do know is didn't nobody go home today. That I do know. I don't know where that came from, but no, that didn't happen. Hey, Sarah, good to see you. You said start again. You said that Shirley has Judge Dunaway better let that. Listen, we ain't trying to ruffle the judge's feathers. He was already upset. He ain't care about how sorry you was because I think there was an apology from Wisdom. I said he ain't care about none of that. He was like, and I don't know the conversation again with her situation with hers. Maybe her document just said continuing. I just know my situation. And my situation was I literally asked them, like, do you think they were like, yes, you can go ahead. Well, they ain't say yes, like they don't. So media doesn't approve it, the judge does. Because I even asked, like, dang, can I go straight to the judge? Because that's kind of how long it would take to get a response. And I got so many emails of which I got it like the day before. And I'll be telling them like the hearing is in like tomorrow. Like I need to know whether to fly out or not. So because that was happening, I'm like, maybe I could just go ahead and get me, something continuing. But apparently it's more common to happen in trials than it is for hearings. But they said they would talk to Judge Dunaway about it, and then I can go ahead and submit the document I showed you guys. And he signed the document. So I ain't had no reason to believe like I shouldn't use it. So that's that. You said I don't think she could record with what happened. Oh, I don't know. And even though she obviously ain't my favorite person, I'm not gonna make up anything about her either. The judge, from what thank you, Sarah and Deborah, for the cash app. The judge was clear that you got to do it for each one. So that's his policy, and if you want to record in his courtroom if he allows it. That's the policy that has to be implemented, and that's just that. So, well, see, the thing about mine, the reason you said seems like a lack of reading, and that may be it. But the thing about mine, what led me to believe that honestly was because he crossed some stuff out on mine. Like, so I felt like you would have crossed that out. Like, girl, ain't no continuing nothing. You better turn in this Rule 22. And he said it's because I guess every single time, if the other side wants to object to it, even though he's approved it a number of times, if they want to object to it, I guess they can. But the thing about, no, I'm not even gonna get into that. Just Sherry said he may not. I suspect he may not go. He's not gonna approve as many Rule 22s going forward. He may not. And if people like care, if there's an objection, you're usually able to be heard if there's an objection. But ooh, stuff falling down. I didn't see. Nope, I didn't see Sonya there. Sure didn't. Yeah, you get me. He can deny what he wants to do with the Rule 22s. Now, when they've been denied, that's when you have like people who you get it. You can have a hearing about it. So usually it'll happen on the same day. Like they denied the first one. Remember with Dennis, and not in this case, but it was in the pictures. Yeah, it was a CP case. They denied it. He put it in the night before. They denied it. He came in. It was another big thing about whether the judge had it and all of that stuff. And then they objected to it, and the judge was going to grant their objection. But then it came out, of course, that Nesto had been visiting with Sylvia and all of that. Then Dennis brought out the Tasha K interview, and the judge was like, well, you basically interjected yourself in the media. And that's what they do. It's like you want to gag everybody else for talking about it, but you in the media just as much, or if not more. So that's why the judge in that case denied it. In this case, they try to do a whole motion for a gag order. Remember, Dennis responded to that. However, I think the judge just like denied it or something. It wasn't really. No, the state did respond to it, if I recall correctly, and I think the judge denied it because it really wasn't a reason for a gag, to gag the media and gag everybody else. But the judge did bring it up today. So he might have brought it up like maybe y'all want to renew it because they was trying to record without having a Rule 22. I don't know. Because literally it wasn't no recordings at all today. And like I said, my last hearing here was in December, and I had the Rule 22. You seen it. I had the date on there. So I never recorded without one. So, yeah. That's it. Can you record audio throughout the day of hearings? If you get permission, all of that is something you have to get permission as media. So like literally like what I showed you guys, I usually check all the boxes on how I want to record. I check all the boxes except for like computer, because I do like iPads and stuff. But I only really, I've never done it through my phone, but I just always felt like to have a backup just in case. So as you guys see, he crossed that out when I put that on there. He's like, no, ma'am, you won't be having no cell phones. So he crossed that out, but he allowed just a regular recording on the December one. So again, there were no recordings of any kind. Nothing happened today anyways. And so all of this happened. So yeah. That's that. What y'all talking about? Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't want y'all to think I just went rogue today. Like Pam done went in there and she done went rogue. Nope. I had to show my look, show what I had. The sexy RN said they focus on the Rule 22 and not pushing the trial forward a bit backwards. Did he accept the leave of absence? I don't think they got a choice, and that's another thing. Thank you for bringing that up. Hoover obviously has a huge case, and so he asked for a leave of absence. So I thought maybe that's why they pushed a lot of his cases up, including Ernest. Well, I don't know if it's a lot. I just know that they did it in this case because he didn't have a hearing till June. So I kind of figured maybe that's why. But so who knows what happened after that? Who knows? You know what? I'm sorry you didn't get you a notification. Could they circle back? No, they told, from my understanding, they told Hoover asked if his business was done for the day. And he said, yeah, he asked to be excused. So that's what they do. They ask to be excused. They're very polite because we finish our case and they be like, thank you, Your Honor. Have a great weekend. That's it. And we gone about our merry way. They asked the judge, well, Your Honor, that completes our business for the day. May we be excused? So that's typically how they do it. But that's not them folks. Maybe the push to remove media was the good news the other person was referring to in the prediction that predicted nothing. That's not good news. Like, y'all seen my notes. If I was sitting there and I could do line by line, like, this is what I do. So it's not like I can't come back and just still relay the message of what's happening. So that's not stopping. And again, it's other people that can record. That's not stopping if the news wants to come in. They were a part of it too. The news might just be waiting for the trial. A lot of people said they were waiting for the trial. So he might get detonated in a bunch of Rule 22 towards trial. So it's not going to stop that. Thank you so much, A Soft Place to Land, for becoming a member. So, but again, there's all these different things on who told who and who told on who and all of that. Again, to me, that's what the depths are there for. Like, they literally will ask for your Rule 22s. They usually ask to see them. So I don't know. But ain't nobody record. Well, I'm not gonna say nobody. I'm gonna say Pam and her team didn't record nothing today. The camera was set up. That was as far as it went. And again, it probably would, even if he stayed there and the judge didn't say anything, nothing would have happened today. Like, nothing. So he wouldn't have never turned the camera on anyway. That's why I was like, so, okay. Thank you so much for the super chat, Pink Clover. I appreciate it. But Rock and Robin said this is a whole mess. The case was dragging. It's going on 3 years now with no real movement. Yeah. Well, you have to look at it. He's been indicted for a year. So you're looking at the pre-indictment. So yes, he does have 2 cases that are still unindicted. He has this case, obviously, that's been indicted, but it's only been a year. I don't want to say only because, baby, 24 hours in jail is too much. But so if you look at it from that perspective, I believe, like I said, that depending on how that motion to suppress goes, they might be rethinking some of those other charges. That's what I'm thinking. But like I said, I'm not going to take it back. I think Hoover did a good job on doing his job. You know, you try to do motions you challenge constitutional violations. You do as many pretrial motions as you can, and you try to get your case whittled down. And this, honestly, for the cases that he has, this seemed like light work, because they put him on like gang cases, and well, they got all these different enterprises, and all of that is what he's used to. So yeah, I don't know about why they would be happy. I don't know. Child, you have to go ask them. Ooh, they trying to get me. No clue. These gotta be the hoodest squirrels I have ever seen. They are like straight fighting. Oh my gosh. Y'all got any more questions? Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Miss Buckeye, for the soup for the cash app. So kind of you. Thank you so much. Thank y'all for making me feel, a little better that I ain't just wait. Cause I didn't even know if I was gonna make it. I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to this. And then I'm so tired, but I was like, I can't take my nap without letting y'all know that I'm okay. Said I'm out in the wilderness. How long does a person sit in jail waiting for her trial until it becomes a violation of someone's constitutional right? Child, in Georgia, apparently they have. I don't know if they put a speedy trial on his. He's only indicted on one case, so I'm not sure if he has a speedy trial in or not. But it should have happened almost if he had a speedy trial in. But as far as the other cases, he's still unindicted. And in Georgia, they can keep you in jail for felonies for up to 4 years, and like 2 years for misdemeanors. So he's going on his third year. So by the next year, they have to release him. Except, well, no, because it would be whenever they actually put in the charge documents for him. So I guess not, because they're stagnating in when they were filed. So the CP charges, remember, they was filed in like January 2023, and then they were dismissed, and then they were brought back. Then you have the SA charges. Those have been, so none of those, they're stagnated. So your years will have to go, I guess, from when you actually are arraigned on it or arrested on it, even though he's been in jail for these financial crimes since June. So it's like they're holding him in jail, and then they found other things to put in there, so it's stagnated on the time frame on when he would be able to get out. But what made me look it up is I felt that was unfair to just be sitting in jail. But see, that's why you have people like today, when people were pleading or doing their pleas or whatnot, and not even, the times I've been here and watched it, a lot of times they'll like time served because they've been in there for a year. It's like, we'll give you 1 year time served. We'll give you 5 years, 1 year term in jail, which is time served. He's been in there 2 years. So by the time they get to almost the plea part, which honestly, it does seem like a bit of a tactic that people are going to want to get out, right? And if you know that they can keep you for 4 years on a felony, and they tell you, we're going to give you 3 years probation, well, 3 years, 1 year to be served, 2 years on probation, and you get time served, then you're going to be like, okay, I get to get out today. So there probably are people. Well, I know some people plead just for the certainty. Everyone that pleads is not guilty. They plead like they'll say the facts. I'm willing to just take my part so I can go home. So that may be part of the tactic and the strategy. I don't know, but that part said at this point it's gonna be time. It might be. He been in there for a minute. Coming up on 3 years, like in June. I don't think he has, but he's in a business with a girlfriend who wants to buy city blocks, so I don't understand why he hasn't posted bond. I don't think he has bond on everything to post. So I don't know. They said they going off and well, y'all do it just like see, just like when Sonya got subpoenaed, right? When she got subpoenaed and then they come with a document saying she was gonna file a motion to quash the subpoena. When everyone came to me, I was like, I'm not reading that until it's filed. It's not filed. So she could be saying anything in there just to get y'all or some people that actually do the do commentary to read what her defenses and thoughts are, even though she never was gonna file it. And what did we learn? She never filed it. We learned that from the docket because she got an extension on when she could turn in the documents. She didn't fight turning in no documents. So you said I'm talking. Will they expire? No, they can be recalled if they want to take them back. The warrants. You guys are out here tripping. Okay. You said I hope something is filed today to explain what is discussed in chamber. You'll probably just get a next date on something that's going to happen, or they might just sit back and the judge might have said, "I'll render a written opinion." Judge gives a written opinion, and all the bloggers are going to have what the opinion is. So I love you more. Thank you so much. Are all minds clear? Huh? All minds clear. We'll see. We'll see where this Rule 22 saga lands. But that's that. Mm. But yeah, he was pretty mad. He was like, "Listen, you may be excused." It's like, dang, all right, Judge. It is beautiful here. I think some of these animals like me a bit too much out here, so but the 13th juror said, "Did nothing happen on the record but the calling of the case. Nestor was not in court, so there will be no transcript." Because it's not like literally picture a big negotiation room. That's what it looked like. Like everybody was huddling off in different corners. Some people were going in the hallway. Some people was going in chambers. Some people was going in a conference room. So yeah, you know what, Patty, they probably would have took you in handcuffs and talking about it ain't that serious, though. Just chill out. They would have took you. They'd be like, "Ma'am, you are held in contempt." My ride is ready. I ain't going nowhere but to sleep. I'm just, we only been on for 44 minutes. So I was trying to give y'all an hour if you want the whole hour, since you guys been waiting. Cause it ain't like I could come back on tonight and talk about something so much better or have a video or something to show. Like literally. I'm giving you guys this time. All this love and super chats and support. I'm trying to give you my time right now. So I'm going to sleep. I'm tired. I was stressed out. I was in court fighting for my life, and I was just trying to record. Shoot, I'm going to sleep. I'm tired. I had to get up early so I could fight these Atlanta streets. This traffic is ridiculous. It should be that should be what's held in contempt. This traffic. It's crazy. No, Shirley's divorce finally. No, he was not there. He might have been there in the back because they hold you the inmates in the back. So he might have been there in the back, but he wasn't. He he didn't come in the courtroom. So they only like had the inmates come out when I guess they had a deal of some sort. So that's why I said I ain't want to move here. I was like, I thought about it one time because I have a sister here. I have a lot of family. I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool. I was like, I would have to get a driver. I'm not driving in this traffic, like never. I said, I'll be pulled off on the side of the road, like, hey, Dev, can you come get the car? I decided to get out and walk, and I just caught an Uber once I hit the street. And he'd be coming back to get the car. I'm not doing it. Yeah, LA traffic sucked too. Tracy said, tell Nesto to give you his discovery package so we can learn what we needed to. I don't know. They didn't make a decision. A lady said, would a marriage fraud allow truck contents? That's up to the judge. That's one of the state's arguments. Let's see, husband is the person that got you in trouble in school. You see what she did? You see what she doing there? See, she's the person that your mama said is a bad influence on you because if you hang around them, you're going to get into trouble. This is what husband is. Out of all the things in the world, you want me to piss off a judge. That's what you want me to do. He was already bad. Out of all the things in the world, you want me to piss the judge off. Because you know they watch all these videos. I ain't saying the judge does, but you know. So as soon as Nessa and them decide to like hit the hammer on us on the media, this gonna be the clip. Judge, this is what Pam Esquire thought about you. Look at her acting you out and how you were acting. Said you were acting like this. You're not doing it to me. No, sis, I'm not doing it. I'm not. I'll be up there. You'll know if how mad he is if I be like, intellects, we need to have a meeting here. The judge is more mad than I thought. Okay, we gotta get back here into into Georgia. Cause you know he called my videographer's name, but that's my stuff. You know what I'm saying? So of course I ain't gonna let him. He was like, man, what the world is going on? I was like, I'm glad I came because he probably really would have been sitting there like, what is that? Because, you know, it's a couple of times I sent him and I wasn't there. So, yeah, he probably really would have been jacked up if I wasn't there, didn't know what to do. So, I'm just glad I went, even if it was just for that purpose. You sat in hood court. See, look, Miss Buckeye. You're a moderator. You're like one of the depths on this live, okay? And you are buying into this. No, I'm not doing it. I play a whole lot of games, but I don't play like that. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yes, Kelly, it was the same judge. He was nice to everybody else. He was very nice. He just said we got it wrong and it don't happen that way. I'm like, I asked, all right, now did they say that they ain't never seen it before, but they did see it in longer trials? That's what they said, but they said submit it. I guess you'll see, ma'am. If he signed it, then you'll see. If he don't sign it, then you know your answer. And he signed it. So that was that. I thought we was clear, but apparently we weren't clear. So why? You want to see me get yelled at? Why you want to be a cockroach on the wall? Miami Lady T said I was shot. You want to come on? I'm about to let you. You could hit the what's the mature? You ain't got a cam up, but you can come on if you want. If you were in there, if you could come on. That's weird though, because apparently he signed it on accident. I don't know. He signed it on accident, and I came to court recording on accident. So it sounded like a bunch of accidents, but he's the judge, so that's kind of what it is. No, it was literally just like it was only two of us. It was only two of us in the courtroom. That's how I didn't see how y'all was streaming or whatever before, like with the thumbnail with Dennis, because he wasn't in the courtroom. Like nobody. I was in the courtroom. Of course, it was some other people that were observing. Oh, you heard it on the other page. How y'all hear that? And ain't nobody got permission to record. I'm so confused. I don't know. Thank you. DM703. I don't know. Girl, she giving a whole lot of credit to herself. Had what plan? You don't like that don't even make sense. And what does that really do? Even like you gonna have how about plan to get your man out? Do them plans. Go find some evidence so that he can get up out of jail. Worry about that. Y'all, they worried about the wrong thing. Like if that's the conversation, and again, I'm gonna take your word for it because I don't watch her. This ain't even nothing to plan. Like, what are you planning exactly? You didn't know if I was gonna come with a camera. You didn't know if I was gonna come at all. So how can you pre-plan this? I didn't tell not one person that I was coming to this hearing. And all you had to do, according to the judge, is just ask for a Rule 22 prior to. And he has not denied any of them yet. So that don't even make sense. So whatever, child. People want to take credit for everything. It ain't nothing to take credit about. So no, I would love to go to a Diddy trial, but I know it's gonna be so crowded and that stuff is first come, first serve. And I don't like this case ain't that great for me to stand outside for 5 and 6 hours trying to get a seat at the table. So probably not. She played a recording on her page of the judge talking to y'all. She said that WD was recording, so I guess she copied her recording. Oh, so that was on her recordings. Oh, okay. Well, child, I wasn't recording nothing. My guy ain't even turned the camera on. So that's just that. I hadn't recorded nothing in the courtroom. So if there's anything that come out to say that we was recording, that is a whole lie. Because he doesn't even turn it on until after he was off in the corner. When it happened, the camera was sitting over to the left and he was off in the corner. He ain't record nothing. He ain't turn nothing on. He ain't do anything. So I don't know what they talking about. You get me said, I realized I could never be an attorney. I take things too personal. Now I really want to see nothing. So you know what? Well, and that's part of like when I got married, I had been doing this for probably 5, 6 years. And I had gotten so used to it that I had to tell him, like, it's been times I've been on Zooms and the judge was going off. And he sit there, he'll stand and come in the room like what's all this about? Like, and that's how so I had to say, this is kind of what they do, and it ain't that deep. Like, it ain't that deep. Like, I go through it all the time, and sometimes you think the judges can't stand you, then the next time they super nice to you and they feel like it's okay. Sometimes they have bad days. Sometimes they got what I call robitis, where because they're in that authority, they do that. And you just learn to get over it or get used to it. Now, sometimes you have to draw a line, but just like ranting and raving and all of that, I don't really care about that. Or getting slick or saying certain things, that don't bother me. Now, if you come like for my just integrity, then usually I'm respectfully and I respond how I'm gonna respond. But stuff like this, it was like, I'm not even here in the capacity of a lawyer anyway, but it was just a rule 22. Like, it ain't that deep for me. Oh Lord, it was another document filed. Mm-mm-mm. Let me see. Whew, child, these bugs is everywhere. Hold on. So they filed the transcript from. Let me see, so y'all can see. They filed the actual transcript from what happened. So they say, I see a camera. And then that's my guy who said, yes, sir, said his name. The court said, all right, may I see your Rule 22 giving you authority to record in the courtroom. So then they say, all right, for WKRA 92.7, this is on Mr. Ernest Williams, signed by me September last year for the court date of October 2nd of 2024. On that form, I've checked off for the duration. I mean, she has, this is her responding. This was Wisdom daughter. And that form, on that form, I've checked off for the duration. It says we don't really know how long the trial is going to be. I'm not aware of a requirement to get a new one for every. The court said it is, it is. So then she responded, it is. The court said it is. So then she responds, okay, I'll get it done. Okay, will you allow us to still? The court was like, no, 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 no. So then she said, okay, that's fair. So then the court said, I need to find out what the proper remedy is for you doing this without a proper order. Well, it's checked off on the form. So then the court said, no, no, we might need to have a show cause hearing as to why you all should not be held in contempt. So then she said, because it's worded on, it's actually written on the form, and I've covered several hearings since that time, and I presented this Rule 22 each time. Then the court said, and then is it talking about my videographer? He said, yeah, yours is also from another court. So then I got up, they said dated December 18th of 2020. So then I got up, Your Honor, if I may, that's also my Rule 22 as well. I was the one that communicated with media, and I was doing it continuously. And that's why next to the date, we have that, because we're doing it for each date. One, so I put the continuance, and they said they would accept it. Then the court said no, they have specific dates on here, the time, the date, the courtroom. The purpose of this is to give the parties notice. So we'll take these matters up at another time. But I believe you all have violated the rule, and we'll set a hearing to see if you violate the rule and what the appropriate remedy is. So then she responded, all right. Well, one of us said, thank you, Your Honor. Nah, she said, we're trying to be, I think that was Wisdom. She said, all right, thank you, Your Honor. We were just trying to be. And then he said, the judge said, you may be excused. So then he said, anything from the parties on the Williams case based on the information we just received. And Wooten said, nothing, Your Honor. For the defense, no, Your Honor. So then he said, very well, I will see what the appropriate remedy is, and we'll have a hearing on. I know previously the defense had filed a motion that I denied. We'll see where we are now. That was it. So that's the entire thing. Yeah. Thank you so much, I Choose Joy, for the for gifting the membership. Yeah, pretty much. Thank you, Unique Girl. But if there were recordings or whatever, they weren't my recordings. Like, I literally didn't record today. So if he's concerned about somebody, if it was information that somebody was recording, then it was not information from it wasn't like my recording, because I did not record. He said all of that before we were able to record anything, and it wasn't anything to record, if that makes sense. So oh Jesus. It ain't even that deep. It's like it's requesting the transcript. Okay. Well, there's that. You said WD recorded and Dennis replayed it on his live. Um, well, I didn't record anything, so I don't know. That's all I know. So if he's talking about like recording now, so basically ours was denied before we were able to do anything. And again, there wasn't anything to do. So this is my first live that I've done today. I haven't recorded anything. So I don't know. That's what it is. You said I'm cracking you with the so some people need to worry about their own cases instead of being worried about this. So, anyways. You said there's nothing to record. No, there wasn't. Thank you, Lisa and Karen. Thank you for the cash app. I appreciate it. Huh? Who took up for me and who being shady? What are you talking about? I'm so confused because I didn't do anything on today. Kim J said I had a feeling Dennis wasn't there. No, he wasn't in the courtroom. I don't know. Maybe he did get it from Wisdom's. I don't know. Maybe he got somebody in there that was telling him. I have no clue. I just know I was sitting there and that happened. So maybe they right. Maybe it was brought to their attention by Wisdom's daughter, the situation with Wisdom's daughter recording. And so we all got smacked in the face for it. I don't know. I really don't know. So Girl, really be? They trying to get me down here in Georgia, sis. No, he wasn't there. I didn't see Dennis today. So girl, ain't nobody gonna take me from he going to the Diddy trial. Diddy trial ain't till next week. No, I didn't see Dennis today at all. So trying to know who was behind it. So you said he had eyes there. That's what I said when I seen his feed. I was like, oh, he must have got somebody there and got y'all thinking that he's there, but whatever. Thank you, 504. So I don't know. I guess it's they little beast or whatever, and they just kind of threw me in there too. But I ain't record nothing. Ain't no audio my way because I ain't record a dang on thing. He basically stopped all that before it happened, and it wasn't even nothing to record though. That's the whole thing though. It literally wasn't anything to record. So that's what's baffling me. They knew before he came out on the bench, I believe, that there wasn't going to be anything to record. So I guess it's the look of about to record or something that was the problem. Mm-mm. No, no, I don't know nothing about that. You said we need a sketch artist. No, there was no movement on the case. So I guess that's y'all information, the transcript that was filed, and then when the judge decides if he's gonna have a hearing on it to talk about what happened or whatever. Right. There ain't there's no recap. There's no recap. We don't know nothing. You gotta watch the docket. Girl, yeah, if he have one, yeah. I'm not gonna let the videographer come on his own because he literally didn't record anything anyway. He didn't record without permission because he didn't record anything. And like I said, the prior recording that we have now, she said that she's used the same one every time she went. This would have been my first time using it based off of the one I had before that said continuously. because I typically got one every time, because I just was like, didn't know, like, could you do it? So then when I asked about doing it continuously, they said maybe, and they were supposed to talk to the judge, and he told me you can go ahead and submit it. And when the judge signed it, I thought it was all good, but I guess the judge said, nope, that ain't how this works. Thank you, Patrina, for gifting a membership. Thank you, No Meech Nunya, for becoming a member. I appreciate that. But that's it, child. We'll see what else happened in the news besides me, you know? So anyway, yeah, I've been live for over an hour, so I'm about to get up off of here. Scroll back. I'm sure I'll be on somebody's live. They be trying to take little clips, and then all my stuff is copyright protected. So then I'm gonna get notification on whether I wanna, have an issue with people using my little video and all of that. So I'm sure they'll be putting it on here. But I'm about to go take a nap. I'm tired. Thank you, Ranetta, for the cash app. I appreciate it. All minds clear. Y'all all right? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Well, you said if law and crime could, yeah, but you use a Rule 22. Now, the thing is, apparently the way they do it here, they want you to do it for every single hearing that they have, or every single day. So even though he signed off that you can continuously use the same, like continuing, use Rule 22, continuing, that's not what he wants. He wants it to be where every single time you basically submit a date is what he wants. So even though nothing happened today on his case, I guess y'all can get a little drama with what happened with us vloggers in there trying to record. So I don't know, child. But we shall see. Either way, I'll keep you guys updated. Or somebody keep me updated, child. Like, ooh, girl, look at the docket. Like you just did. So thank you. Thank you so much again, everybody, for all of the super chats and all of the love and all of the support. And I'm going to talk to you guys later.